Welcome to week 2. After last week's intense beginning of meeting each other, learning about the class, identifying a project, and creating a matrix, this week will provide what seems like welcome relief. This week's assignments follow up on last week's matrix and are really designed to help you to take this project to the next level. Getting beyond the project specifics, there is also an opportunity to reflect a bit on your views about yourself in the role of leading a project while also being engaged in the research. This week is also a good time to reach out to the instructor with any questions you may have, no matter how incidental they may seem to you. Perhaps most importantly, this week will continue to establish the rhythm behind the course, sharing your work, supporting each other, and collaborating as a learning community. Success in this course and your project will benefit from getting into the rhythm of the course and your fellow classmates. For most weeks, it goes like this. 1. Get yourself up to speed quickly with readings, videos, and lectures. Number 2, develop a draft of whatever assignment is due that following Sunday. Number 3, share that draft for peer feedback in the discussion. 4, provide feedback to others in the discussion thread. 5, continue developing and revising your own work throughout the second half of the week. I can't emphasize enough that this is not a class in which you isolate yourself, write a huge academic paper, and get a grade. A significant amount of the learning comes from your active engagement with the entire class as a learning community and understanding the successes and challenges of each other's projects. Why learn about just one project when you can learn from a full class of live case studies? Your deliverables this week may also seem a little bit refreshingly light compared to the matrix in week 1. And that's okay, because there's plenty to do. In a self-directed project with only 8 weeks, you don't need to wait for an assignment to get to work. That said, as you review your matrix and outline, it's difficult to know where to begin. What you choose to do first may be less important than simply jumping in. Schedule some talks with colleagues, find some secondary information, look over your old course materials, drill down into what's out there for you to read and view. This is the time to be a sponge and begin to activate your thinking. The reading this week includes Chapter 3, A Mindset to Lead Learning. Any project you choose, by definition, involves some type of change to an organization. What you may not be prepared for is the fact that your proposed change may actually begin as soon as you initiate your inquiry and share your thinking. You're really in 2 roles here. First, as a researcher, and second, as a facilitator of organizational learning. Being comfortable with and assuming a learning mindset prepares you for your role as a thought leader who is managing the inquiry into some organizational change. Chapter 7, Building Your Collaborative Network, gives a bit more context to the importance of networking. Like the topic of leadership that always begins with some reflection and self-assessment, the connective leadership model included in this chapter asks you to stop and self-reflect on your preferences and strengths, as they will impact how you approach and manage your project. Remember that the primary research being done for this project depends on others, and how you work directly with them affects your learning experience. The final reading for this week includes Chapter 11, called Research for Positive Change. And it isn't your average chapter on research, since your research in so much of your project is not only using secondary sources, but primary research to drive the change. While it may seem redundant to earlier reading, the focus on positive change is also reiterated in this chapter.